Welcome to this video about an introduction to dysgraphia. What is handwriting? Handwriting is a means of expressing language just like speech, and it also leaves a lasting trace. Some call it language by hand. It is a physical way of expressing thoughts and ideas and means of communicating with others. However, the production of the symbols of any writing system is not something which comes naturally, like walking or jumping. We cannot write unless we've been taught how to. This includes learning pre-writing skills, letter formation, learning how to make writing legible, and mastering fluidity and speed. Handwriting is a very complex skill to master, one which involves linguistic, cognitive, perceptual, and motor components, all of which have to be coordinated into an integrated fashion. Some pupils find these skills difficult to learn and apply. Pre-writing skills. Pre-writing skills are essential for handwriting. If children are pushed to write formal letters too soon, this can lead to huge gaps in their learning. Mark making is a very valuable tool and should be encouraged from an early age using a variety of different media to add interest and exposure to different textures and surfaces. Pre-writing shapes. In terms of the marks that children should be making developmentally, we can see the following stages. Forming letters. Once the pre-writing shapes have been mastered, the child can usually then make the progression to forming their letters. Staff working with young children who are at this stage watch how the child writes as well as what they produce. They look at their general coordination and fine motor coordination with other implements, for example, a knife and fork. This gives an indication if immature or impaired motor coordination might be contributing to the difficulty. They make sure that they are sitting at a table on a chair of the right height. They make sure writing tools are suited to their age and capabilities. For example, the pencils are not too thick or thin and the pen's not scratchy. And they talk to the child about how they feel about their handwriting. Does it worry them? Do they find it difficult? And do they care about it? Developing handwriting skills. Beyond the early stages of learning to form letters, most of education requires the ability to think and write at the same time. The act of handwriting demands a complex set of fine motor skills, which have to be coordinated with information processing, organisation, memory, attention, motor skills, and various aspects of language ability. Automatic and accurate handwriting is the foundation for this juggling act. What is dysgraphia? Dysgraphia comes from two Greek words meaning poor and writing. It is the term applied to those whose difficulties are confined to the fine motor skills required for handwriting, and it leads to problems with the expression of thoughts in writing. It is a specific learning difficulty, SPLD, which we may also commonly refer to in the UK as a specific handwriting difficulty. It can be an isolated difficulty, and it can also co-occur with other areas of SPLD, for example dyslexia, as well as speech, language and communication needs. Dysgraphia can manifest itself as difficulties with spelling, poor handwriting, and trouble putting thoughts on paper. It has links with developmental coordination disorder or dyspraxia, but has different roots. Dyspraxia is a disorder of motor planning, where the individual knows what they want to write, has the imagination to formulate the semantics, can cope orally with the spelling and syntax, but is unable to master the movements of the hand required to produce this on paper in a legible form commensurate with their age. Dysgraphic type difficulties are usually related to poor sequential information processing and poor motor or kinesthetic skills. This affects speed and quality of handwriting and also spelling. It often does not affect all fine motor skills. Features of dysgraphia. Some people with dysgraphia have handwriting that is often illegible and shows irregular and inconsistent letter formations. Many people with dysgraphia are also able to write legibly, but this requires a higher than usual degree of concentration and working memory. The pupil's writing might be very slow, very small, and/or include a random mixture of upper and lowercase letters. The difficulty is more than simply untidy writing. It affects the ability to write effortlessly. In all cases of dysgraphia, writing requires inordinate amounts of energy, stamina, and time. Dysgraphia can interfere with a pupil's ability to express their ideas. In the complexity of remembering where to put the pencil and pen, and how to form each letter, a dysgraphic pupil forgets what they meant to express. Impact on self-esteem and resilience. Dysgraphia is frustrating, and therefore over time can cause distress. A pupil with dysgraphia, for example, may have great trouble spelling written words or writing at a normal speed, but will not necessarily have any problems reading or speaking. Some pupils with dysgraphia will attempt to avoid writing altogether. Here is a useful infographic presenting some of the common difficulties. What to look out for. Spontaneously written work is illegible. Handwriting is very messy or poorly controlled. Writes very slowly, leading to little writing being produced. Poorly formed individual letters. The writing appears above and below the line, mixed. Inconsistent spacing between words and between letters in words. Lack of incorrect punctuation and capitalization. Omitting words from sentences. Not finishing words in sentences. Skipping letters when writing words. Poor sentence organization. Sentences may be grammatically incorrect. Incorrect word usage. Writing letters backwards. For example, B will be D. Writing numbers in reverse order. For example, 34 will become 43. Saying words aloud when writing. Expresses difficulty writing and thinking at the same time. Awkward or painful pencil grip and/or unusual positioning of wrist, arm, or body when writing. And frequent hand cramps when writing. Here are some samples. What types of adjustments might help? Reasonable adjustments in the classroom. Reasonable adjustments are established for individual pupils as needed and are ongoing. Reasonable adjustments might include the following. Providing worksheets or workbook pages with basic formatting, date, title, etc. already complete. Providing printouts of slides. Using planning and writing frames. Using paper with raised lines and large graph paper for maths. Using a mini whiteboard. Adapting test formats to cut down on handwriting, for example, use of circle the answer or fill in the blank questions. Allowing any form of handwriting, print or cursive or both. Encouraging the use of pen or pencil grips if helpful. Using a laptop where appropriate, but handwriting should still be encouraged and is necessary for some tasks. Using speech-to-text software to support note-taking. Using a spell checker. Allowing extra time to complete tasks. Allowing for short breaks between and within tasks if they require substantial writing. Enabling the pupil to record their answers and ideas in alternative formats. Using alternative means of assessing understanding, for example, oral. And access arrangements for exams and controlled assessments, which typically include extra time, usually 25%, scribe, rest breaks, and the use of specific technologies. Adaptive high-quality teaching strategies. Adaptive strategies are additional inputs provided by the teacher or TA to supplement reasonable adjustments for the pupil. This includes helping the pupil to break writing tasks into smaller steps, partnering with a pupil to undertake paired writing and/or as a proofreader to support in looking for errors, marking work with the pupil in class, asking the pupil to talk about their responses rather than checking through reading, prompting the pupil to look at each word, close their eyes and visualize it letter by letter, providing worked examples, guiding the pupil to prepare for written tasks by drawing pictures, symbols, card sorts, etc., creating a list of keywords to support the text as required, and praising the pupil for content and effort. Hand strengthening exercises. There are lots of activities which can be used to strengthen the hands, for example, squeezing balls, stretching fingers, rubbing hands together, and doing warm-up activities prior to any writing tasks. Activities to support handwriting practice. Practicing writing letters and numbers in the air with finger motions. Practicing letter formation in sand trays. Using magnetic letters. Using chalk on blackboards and the ground. Shape and pattern copying. Using a spirograph. Tracking objects tracing from left to right. And colouring in mosaics or paint by number. Teaching the use of technologies. This includes, for example, touch typing, mind mapping software, spell checkers, and text-to-speech software. Assessments. Dysgraphia, or more common in the UK, handwriting difficulties, are typically identified by an occupational therapist following use of a battery of assessments, which may include tests of fine motor skills, spatial processing, and general writing ability, including word and letter formation or written expression. Evidence collated in school is an important factor in any evaluation, including writing samples that show a high level of illegibility, checklists and screeners, for example, the handwriting legibility scale. Application of the detailed assessment of speed of handwriting (DASH) is strongly recommended before or if any referral to an occupational therapy service is made. The DASH includes subtests, which examine fine motor and precision skills, the speed of producing well-known symbolic material, the ability to alter speed of performance on two tasks with identical content, and free writing competency. This is the end of this video. You can view more videos on this channel in the About series.